All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Player B podcast. My name is Marcus Mercer. As always, I'm joined by Rob Blevins. Rob, how we doing?
Better than I deserve, sir. How about yourself?
Yeah, can't complain. Can't complain.
Yeah.
It's been a little sunny out, so we'll get the weather talk out of the way early as we always
Nice.
do.
That was
It's
quick. I like it. Yeah.
little chilly now that we're in January, but yeah, here we are. So we're another month closer to getting the golf season. But we are joined by a very special guest. We have Scott McDonald on, VP of Ryp Golf. Scott, how we doing?
Great, guys. If we want to talk weather, it was negative 24 Saturday morning when I woke up at my house up here in Minnesota. So I don't think it's that cold there, but yeah. The end is near. The days are getting longer, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the trump card on that. The negative 24 beats us.
Yeah. The running joke is we always kind of start every podcast with how the weather is here in Columbus, Ohio, but I don't think we can kind of compete with what you got going on up there in Minnesota.
No, not in the slightest.
Did you guys get a bunch of snow up there?
We did around Christmas. Yeah, actually, it's been a pretty decent year for snow, which Minnesotans were hardy, ice fishing. I've got probably 50 ice houses out my back door there on the lake that I live on. But everybody had, if there's snow, people are happy because they can snowmobile and get out and ski a little bit, cross country ski, snowshoe. So people are happy. If it's cold and there's no snow, people are ugly. It's not good. It's not good.
Well, that's kind of how it's been here in Columbus anyway. It's been cold and no snow. In fact, we got a ton of, I think all the snow you guys got was rain for us. So I think I'd rather have the snow than rain. So
Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, welcome on. We appreciate you coming on. We again, VP of Ryp Golf, and you probably have seen the Ryp Stick on Instagram and some things there. So we're excited to chat a little bit here. We were chatting before we hit record here. We actually came across you guys a couple episodes ago. We had Ben Bostel on, and he mentioned he's doing some work with you guys and kind of introduced us to the product. So we're interested to learn more about Ryp Golf and hear a little bit about your background. So I guess maybe we could start there. You've had kind of a long career is the best way to put it in the world of golf. Maybe walk us through that and kind of talk us through how you got to Ryp Golf from all your previous golf experience.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer career in golf than Rob, just a little bit. But
Slightly.
Same thing. I started on the green grass side as an assistant. I jumped into the business actually close to you guys in Indianapolis. I was there for 2 years. My wife was in grad school at Butler. So I worked at a club there, Twin Lakes Golf Club, for 2 years, and then moved back to Minneapolis, and worked at a club, Windsong Farm Golf Club, as an assistant for 4, and then became a head pro. And I was a head pro for 8 years at Minnewaska, and then a year at Summerby down in Byron, which is by Rochester, where the Mayo Clinic is. And then COVID hit. My good friend Luke Benoit created this training aid called the Ryp Stick, which I saw a prototype probably a year before he actually launched it. And I resigned at Summerby, and I said, hey, if you need help with the company, just let me know. And a year later now, it's been a year since I've joined Ryp Stick, and here we are. And we've got one of the fastest growing training aids on the market with the Ryp Stick.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm seeing it all over Instagram and everything now, and kind of excited to learn a bit about that. But you worked in the golf business on the pro side, but I noticed you actually on your website, it seems like you were a pretty decent player yourself too. You have had some stats on there. You've won some, you've competed in some of the championships and qualifiers and things like that. Even I get a career low 64. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah. Actually I was kind of a late bloomer to golf. We were talking earlier about running. I was a runner in high school. I ran cross country and track. I ran 2 Twin Cities marathons, but I ran in college, and after I got done competitively running, I started to transition into more golf and started playing more and more. And I didn't really start to compete till after college. So got in the golf business because my game was good enough that I could pass a PAT, and just worked on it. And I still compete in our section events. I've qualified for a couple national championships, and yeah, I mean, I love competitive golf. I love to play. I love to compete. And I think part of it's because it happened so late in life that I got to do it. So
Yeah. The old PAT. We've had some talks about how to, one of our podcasts was Marcus asking me like, how do you get into the business? And yeah, the dreaded PAT. I told a story. I don't know if I told it on the podcast or not, but I definitely put my foot in my mouth. The first time I took the PAT, I passed it first try, and I was talking to a guy, and to me, I mean, and Scott, I don't know what the target score was for yours, but I mean, it's not like you have to shoot even par or several under. It's like you just kind of have to go out and shoot like 77, 78, somewhere around there. And I was like, man, I was talking to the guy, and I said, I can't believe there's guys that come out here and take it like double-digit times. I was like, you don't have to come out here and light up the world. And he's like, yeah, this is like my 11th time taking it. I was like, man. And that was, I think, on the second hole of the 36. So needless to say, it was a little uncomfortable for the remaining walk.
Not much conversation the rest of the round.
No. It's quiet. So
it's a stress, very few. It might be one of the few events you ever play in where you're like, you have to shoot this score. It's obviously if you're playing late in a tournament, somebody posts a number, you're like, hey, I got to shoot whatever to win this tournament. But never do you go to a golf course and say, I got to shoot 77 to pass. So it's a different mindset, and weird things have happened. I've caddied for buddies in it. I've luckily passed it my first time too, right on the number. But it's you can't take it for granted because there's a lot of pressure.
It really is. It's funny, like you said, because I think it gets, once you get past probably like three times maybe, then it's just between your ears at that point, like where it's gotten you. Because it's like when you're out with your buddies or you're out playing your own ball, you could shoot that with your eyes closed more often than not if if that's the career you're trying to pursue. But once it's it's like anything in golf. Once you hit a couple squirrely ones, it starts to mess with you a little bit. After a couple ones off the hosel from a certain yardage, you get that yardage again, you're like, oh, that's in my head. So yeah, the PAT is kind of the same thing, but yeah, that was my PAT story. So
I love the idea of you asking that poor gentleman, man, I can't believe these people are still out here. This isn't that hard. And the poor guy's going out there shooting 86, 87 each round, and he just can't.
And the funny thing was, he started off like, I think he was 3 under through his first like 6 holes, didn't make it. And he just blew up. It was kind of one of those things you alluded to, Scott, where it's like just funny things happen. Like, hit one just like an inch OB on one hole, had to reload. So it was just like, then it was just a snowball effect, because then it got in his head, and I was like, boy, yikes, hopefully that wasn't my fault. So
yeah. No, it's weird stuff happened in that event for sure.
So that's one thing that has always, I guess, intrigued me or interests me a little bit is I have never worked in the golf business. I am a weekend average hack that just loves to go out and play when I can. But, I talk to Rob about this all the time, that I guess one of the misconceptions is, when you're a pro or you're working in the pro shop at a club or things like that, is you have all this time to work on your game and go out and play. But you mentioned that you love to play competitively. So was that difficult for you to kind of manage practicing or getting ready for some of these tournaments and still, being at the course, sun up to sundown for the entirety of golf season? How does that work?
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot easier when you become a head pro and you can kind of set the schedule. Yeah. But as an assistant, I was fortunate as an assistant. I'm married. I've been married 15 years. I have 4 kids now. I didn't have any kids when I was an assistant. So luckily my wife's in medicine and she's a PA, so she'd work long hours. So I'd just kind of when she was at work, I'd either be working on my game or being at the golf course working. So it's it's you just got to prioritize, and
Yeah.
some people in the business just don't put playing as a priority because they've got kids, and I totally understand that they want to be at their kids' stuff. And it just was at a stage in my life where I had time that I could commit to it, and luckily, or else I probably wouldn't get to the level that I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always something that I remember talking to one of my dad's buddies who was a local pro when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I thought I wanted to work in sports. And at that time I was young and dumb and didn't know what I was going to do, and thought, hey, maybe I'll give the golf business a try. And he's like, golf business is great, but don't ever plan on playing a lot of golf. And I was like, well, that's kind of the whole thought, is I like playing golf. So it,
Kind of like what Scott alluded to. It really depends on the course you're at, the club you're at. I mean, even, there's some head pros that'll make sure their assistants, hey, go play in a Monday event, or go play, go out and practice, go play, there's 3 members on the tee sheet, go throw yourself on there as a 4th. So it all kind of depends on what, kind of where you're at. Cause I've seen assistants that play in a ton of section events. And then there's some that you go out there and don't even recognize them because they never play. So yeah, kind of like what Scott said, it kind of depends on the course you're at and what's that head pro willing to do for the assistants. So
yeah, I mean, one of the best PGA professional players is from Ohio, and Bob Sowards, and he's just he's a senior now, and he's been at it for what, 30 years.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. So yeah, he's got it figured out. So
yes, yeah, it's I think that playing needs to be a priority more for our PGA professional, because like you alluded to, Marcus, ultimately that's why, Rob, myself, you thought about maybe getting into the game because we love golf. If you love golf, you got to be playing it, or else what's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny. I don't know how much golf content you take in, whether it be podcasts or whatnot, but I was actually listening to No Laying Up today, and they were talking about their yearly goals, and they're a little bit different. They're not, in the professional side of things, but one of the guys was talking about how they're doing what they're doing because they love the game. But at some point last year, he got burnt out because being at the course turned into a job rather than something he was passionate about. He was just there because that's what he had to do every day. That's what it was for work. They were creating content and all these things, and it just became a job rather than, hey, I'm doing this because I love it and enjoy it. And that's why, so it's just interesting to hear that from a different perspective, but on the same line of things. So you're with Ryp Golf now. That's kind of how we ended up getting in touch with you. I guess talk to us a little bit about Ryp Golf. You mentioned it's kind of a newer product, something that's come about in the last couple of years, and I guess just talk to us. It's a speed training tool, but how is it differentiating itself from other tools, and kind of just walk us through Ryp Golf a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, so everybody, speed training isn't a new concept. It's been around for a while. Super Speed Golf kind of was the company that brought it to the forefront, and it's just been really shot in the arm. Especially just this last year with Bryson and distance, and it's just been like crazy. So our company, we've had speed training products. We've had the power hitter. We've had dowels that we've swung, and other things that we've done to create speed. Swinging something lighter, you're going to swing it faster. Swinging something heavier, you're going to train those muscles to fire harder and get stronger. So the Ryp Stick, I got one here. We just came out with white, and it's
nice.
All in one head. So essentially all you do is turn the dial, and there's 3 weights in here, 30-gram weights, and you just take them out to get it as light as possible. And then we got a counterweight on the end that you can take on and off. It twists on and off. So when it's lightest, it's 270 grams, which standard driver is between 315, 320 grams. So you're getting something that's quite a bit lighter than your driver. And then you progressively add weights to get it 300, 330, 360. It's getting heavier than your driver, and then up to 420. So nice. We ask is 3 times a week, 10 minutes each time. So 30 minutes a week, no more than that, because we want you swinging full speed all the time. We don't want you doing it every single day. Like, you don't go to the gym and lift weights every single day. Your muscles need some time to recover, so you build them up. So it's 30. That's literally it. 30 minutes, and so that's the Ryp Stick. And what we're all about is just making people better. So we all know if you hit it further, you're going to shoot lower scores. And to go along with that, the founder of our company is a great instructor. So Marcus buys a Ryp Stick. He sends us his golf swing, and we give you a free swing analysis and say, you're casting it, Marcus. Here's a good drill to work on with the Ryp Stick. Let's fix the swing flaws, then pick up the speed. And then if you want, we'll give you a fitness plan too, because all 3 of those things are going to just maximize your gains. So that's a long-winded version of what we're all about, but mainly it's just let's make people better, help them have more fun on the golf course.
Yeah, I agree with that, Scott. What I really like too about the Ryp Stick, and a lot of these programs too, for that matter, is the fact that you're swinging the club right and left-handed, so you're not overtraining one side of the body, just to kind of keep things balanced. I know because I've talked to Ben Bossel that does some work with Ryp Stick, and he said some of those moves left-handed going all out is a little awkward at first. He said he thought he injured his back a little bit. Joking aside, he was joking, but he said he was, I think he was on his knees and he was doing the left-handed swing from his knees, and he's like, boy, that just felt so uncomfortable. But again, to your point, there's other aspects that you guys provide, a fitness aspect. So if that does become too much of a challenge, there's things you can work on, stretches or other things to kind of make that. But it's good in a sense of not just doing for, Marcus being left-handed is to go out there and just crank different weights left-handed the whole time. He's got to train that other side of his body to make it equal. So I like that idea that you guys provide that. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people, we get a lot of questions, even from PGA professionals, like top instructors in states saying, I don't believe in bilateral training, swinging both ways. We've got a doctor and we've got a master's degree on our team, like 2 people that have done a ton of research on overload and overspeed training. And if you can swing something faster left-handed, it's going to help you move faster right-handed. So it just balances everything out too. It's so that's and people you can swing it right-handed, maybe 110 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden you get your left-handed speed up to 105. You might be able to get to 113, 114 just because of doing the left-handed swings.
Yeah, and Marcus is, obviously we played in men's league. He's seen me take some left-handed cracks at punch-out shots when I've been tied behind some trees. So, hopefully that would help me out. So,
well,
yeah, my left-handed swing's gotten better for sure.
Good. Okay. All right.
Well, not to jump the gun on anything there, Rob, but you've sent me more than one text about maybe taking up the game left-handed and just seeing what you can do for the fun of it. So you go.
That's the 2023 goal. This year is kind of get working on the game, make it a little tighter, and then the 2023 goal is to switch over to lefty and see what I can do.
He's sent me more than one text about buying a cheap set and just seeing what he can do left-handed. So there you go.
Well, that's the founder of our company, Luc Benoit, he's a great player, and he's working on going left-handed.
Okay.
So I'm fascinated by this because I've only seen one other person do this on video, but is he ambidextrous or is he only played right-handed his whole life and just said, I need a new challenge, or how does that work?
He's only played right-handed. He's qualified for nationals. He was a Division III All-American, finished second at nationals his senior year. Great player. Better than I ever was. But solid tennis player, so works good both ways. Yeah. But never has played left-handed. And he's like, that was his 2020 goal was, hey, I'm gonna break 80 left-handed. he didn't really get there. And Rob, I'd say just stick with it right-handed. Just tried to do. I mean, especially if you're going to put in the work in 2022, don't let it just go to waste and go away. To the left hand. Yeah. If anything, maybe I'd say you could putt left-handed.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not the greatest putter, so I may have to do that anyway. So that's fine.
You never know.
I've been telling him the same thing. I think his wife's been telling him the same thing when he told her he was going to buy a left-handed set of clubs.
It's like, why?
So, but I've been saying the same thing because we got league titles, Thursday night men's league titles to win here. So very prestigious stuff. But
Marcus, if I go lefty, we get more dots. You got to think about that.
That's true. There we go. So, you mentioned, you kind of showed us one of the things and we may end up posting a quick little video that you were just kind of walking through the head of that the Ryp Stick there, where it kind of has the weights and things like that. But I think that's probably the best way to, you guys have kind of differentiated yourselves. Rather, there's other products, speed sticks and things like that, where you have multiple sticks and you guys are kind of all in one package there, which I think I like a lot. You can fit it in your bag, you're not having to carry multiple sticks around and things like that. But interesting to see that design and I think I like that a lot better, I guess is the best way to say it. So
well, and that's why we came up with it, because you look at a lot of the other competitor products out there, you don't see the products in the bag, because I don't know about you guys, I carry a lot, and I don't need any extra weight. I can put one extra stick in my bag, and that's not gonna make a big difference. But three, you know how small the bags are now, especially carry bags. It gets bundled up in there. And nice thing with us is you don't need a wrench to change the weights out. It's literally a twist of that dial and the weights pop up.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you think? We want to hit our at the turn questions here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be a good segue here, Scott. We got 9 questions. We originally were gonna call this segment something else, but Marcus informed me that that name was already taken. We were gonna do so I'm clear. I don't listen to enough golf podcasts to pick up on that. So we got 9 questions. We're going to do at the turn. So we'll just, Marcus and I, you go alternating again, Marcus. Just I'll take you take one.
Yep.
Cool. All right. I'll start us off. And like I said, Scott, they're pretty simple 1-2 word answers, just kind of preferences in the game of golf, that type of thing. So you kind of just alluded to it. I'll start us off here. I was going to say ride or walk, but you kind of alluded to it, but feel free to answer the question in case it changes in the last 30 seconds.
Walk unless I have to ride.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. I like that. All right. Question 2, wood tee or plastic tee?
Plastic. More specifically, the Epoch plastic tee.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. All right.
That's the first very specific answer we've had on
I like that. Yeah. You're going at the turn, Scott. Are you grabbing a hot dog or an energy bar?
Depends on the day, but probably an energy bar.
Okay. All right.
And it depends on the hot dog, because we know there's good hot dogs and there's bad hot dogs.
Yeah. Not the ones that's been rolling on there for the last couple of days. I got to know how long that one's been.
Roller dogs.
Yeah.
Roller dogs are not good.
Right.
You guys have probably worked in enough pro shops in clubhouses to see those things just sitting there spinning for hours. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or just sitting in water and like, I don't know.
The question we usually get at the turn at the place I used to be at was, how long have those been on? And if it's over like an hour or two, if you're like 6 hours, they look at you and you're like, you want one, it's free. You can take it, but whatever happens,
it's on you.
Yeah, eat at your own risk.
Yes.
That's funny. All right, question 4. You're up against the green. You're probably in the rough. Are you playing a bump and run or a flop shot?
Always keep it low. Bump and run.
There you go.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice casual round of golf. Scott, are you going music or no music?
If it's 80s music for sure, but if there could be no country, please no country.
Oh, I have a funny story about that. We were playing a match one night, and I'm a country guy, and I was playing country, and the older gentleman that we were playing, I'll spare the expletives, but he said, he asked me to turn the country off and put some rock on. And so I did for a while, and then he won the next 3 holes, and I immediately went back to country and never played rock again. So I laugh every time I hear that.
Yeah.
All right.
Question 6: hoodies, yes or no? Are you okay with hoodies on the golf course?
Yes, I'm a Nike staff guy, and Nike's all about doing stuff outside the box. I have a hoodie, and I think the traditions of the game are kind of let's loosen it up a little bit so more people play.
There we go.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, we've kind of hit on all sides of that one. This question, I think I'm going to know the answer to. Obviously, being the established player that you are you preferring blades or cavity backs on the irons?
Cavity backs. Nobody should be playing blades.
Oh,
well,
okay.
That's why I said. That's what I said. Preference. You know, I would prefer to look down at a blade, but I'm also a realist, and I know I need help. So.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, I've actually never had blades.
Yeah.
I just technology. I mean, yeah. It's you can't beat it.
Yeah.
All right. Our 8th question. I'm actually going to change this one, Rob, because I think we covered it earlier. I saw lowest. Typically, our 8th question is lowest round, and according to the website, it looks like you shot a 64, which is pretty daggone impressive. But I'm gonna call an audible on this one.
Nice.
Do you have any hole in ones? Holes in one, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yes, I do. I have 4 now. I got my
holy cow.
I got my 4th one this past year in the Minnesota State Open.
Wow.
And my last 2 have been over 220 yards.
Oh man. So were you able to see the ball go in? Were you able, or was it one of those you walk up to the flag and oh man, it's in the hole type of deal?
Yeah.
No, you guys will like this story. It's so State Open, you know, I'm getting a little up there. I'm 40 now, and I'm playing with 2 kids, and I think one of them's a senior in high school. Can't buy him a drink afterwards. One of them is at Pepperdine, and he's a great player, and he's like 20 or 21, but he ends up tying for first in it. This is the first round that I got the hole in one, but we could see it. And the younger one is actually Tim Herron's son.
Oh, wow.
With him. Tim was walking with us. So it's pretty cool. Get the hole in one, and one of the guys I'd never seen one. So yeah, it was cool.
Wow.
That's so hey Rob, there's 4 hole in ones between the group here.
Yeah, we can make a note on the podcast. Tonight on the podcast, we had 4 hole in ones between the 3 of us.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Any double eagles out of you guys?
No.
Not even close. I don't think. I've had some eagles, but yeah, no double eagles. So
in fact, I think we told this story on the podcast, but I've only actually even witnessed 1 hole in one, and it came last year on a par 4. One of Rob's buddies we were playing with aced a par 4.
Oh, so, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, and we didn't see it go in. I mean, it was a par 4 with water all down the right, water long. And the guy brought his wedge and his putter up, and he's like, "Well, I hit it well," and we're like, "It just never left the flag." And so we looked short, wasn't short, and he kind of went along the back edge of the green, and he just casually looked down. He's like, "Huh, it's in the hole."
It was the most casual hole in one celebration I've ever seen in my life.
I'm like, dude, you just hit it 300 yards into the hole. Like, show some emotion. So
this is the greatest shot you're ever gonna hit.
Right.
It was it was his 3rd, wasn't it? 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, he said it, but it was his first on a par 4. But yeah, you wouldn't have known it. You would have thought he does this every week. It's like so. But yeah, just eagles here. No crazy, no big birds. So
come within inches, but never got the hole in one. In fact, my dad and brother both have one, and they let me know about it all the time. So I'm the black sheep of the family.
I'm sure they hold that over your head at every holiday.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yep. And then rounding out the at the turn, little scenario here. There's a short par 4, about 320 yards downhill. You have OB right, water left. Are you hitting bombs, Phil Mickelson style at the green, or are you just taking an iron off the tee for safety and playing it sensible?
I've been burned so many times on drivable holes. I mean, the last time I was at Nationals, I was 1 or 2 under, 22 holes in, and it's 270 to cover this water, and I hit 2 straight in the water and ended up making 8, and there ends my chance of making the cut. So almost since that,
almost had a little tin cup there.
Yeah, exactly. Another ball.
Yeah.
Another ball. But I'm probably, especially if us 3 are out there. Yeah, I'd love to hit. I'm going to hit driver and try and get that hole in one. But if it's competitive, I'm laying up every single time.
Yeah. That's sensible.
That's very sensible. I added a bonus question in last time, and I'll ask you the same thing. Favorite golf course ever played?
Favorite golf course ever played? Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't even thought about that in a while. Probably Sand Hills in Nebraska.
I've heard great things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Core and Crenshaw design in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I was just going to say it might be the only golf course that I had ever been to up to that point that had the Foster's giant cans.
There, Rob, we may be adding questions here. This may be a full 18. We got a favorite course ever played, favorite golf course beer. Oh man, we're gonna keep adding to this. So Foster's is the go-to.
18.
Yeah, we're almost there.
There you go. Foster's, I love it. So. So anyway, getting back to Ryp Golf a little bit, I guess talk us through. You mentioned it a little bit. What a training program may look like. Somebody buys the Ryp Stick, 10 minutes, 3 days a week. Talk us through that. Is it a 5, 6, 7 week program? How long are you having students, for lack of a better term, kind of go through the process of gaining speed?
Yeah, it's, we have different levels of protocols right now. I think we've got 5 or 6, and we're working on always revising them. But essentially, a protocol is a month long. So it's a month long. So you got essentially 12 sessions because you're doing it 3 times a week. And then you move on to the next one. And it starts with, everybody's different too. And that's the one thing that's different from us is Rob's maybe done speed training in the past, and we'll start him at level 2 because he knows how to load the club, or, it's so each exercise is different within the protocols, but they're a month long. So, and there's 3 different exercises in each, like Rob alluded to that Ben has done. This knee swings when you're on your knees, it's tough because you can't use the lower body, and that's why you're on your knees. So you get that separation in swinging around you. There's swings where it's you bring it to the top, like top downs, you hold it, and then you swing it down as fast as you can. Just really work on that transition. Step throughs, I call it like the Kirby Puckett drill, because you get that left heel up and stamp it down. If you watch baseball growing up, Puckett always lifted that left leg up, and that's similar to that. So a bunch of different exercises, but 3 per protocol.
That's how I know you're truly from Minnesota when you're referencing Kirby Puckett.
I think it's our first Kirby Puckett reference on the podcast. So.
I love it.
Well, Kirby's my favorite baseball player, and that's that's what got me into loving sports, because, and we haven't won I mean, of the big four, we haven't won a world championship since 1991 with the Twins in the World Series. So
Wow.
it's it's been a long time, and our Vikings certainly are not going to do it this year.
No,
You're talking to a heartbroken Browns fan right now who just
and
we can't get out of our
he was
own
on
way.
cloud nine. So
Yeah, and Rob's a Bengals fan, so
Hey, Bengals just coming off. I mean, Joe Burrow's looking good. Baker Mayfield does not look good.
right.
Yeah, correct. Joe Burrow is what we thought and hoped Baker was going to be, and it hasn't worked out. But one of our good friends is also a Vikings fan, so he commiserates in not being happy with Kirk Cousins. So
he's not the only one in the state. I mean, you can't put it all on one guy. I think Mike Zimmer is going to be done. So I think their change is coming. Let's just put it that way.
We could go down an NFL rabbit hole and
oh
talk
boy,
for days on that with what happened to the Browns last night. So it's brutal. Anyway, but one of the things, and you kind of even hit the nail on the head there. I think Rob's done a little bit of speed training. I've never done speed training, and actually kind of looking forward to giving it a go. But one of the things I think somebody like me who's never done it, maybe I don't want to say is fearful of, but you're working on your speed so much and you're losing that consistency, not hitting as many fairways and things like that. How do you, I don't know how to ask this. How do you instruct students to kind of maintain that consistency, or what instruction do you give those folks to make sure that you're still hitting fairways and you're not hitting the ball 320 yards but spraying it everywhere, that kind of thing?
You're kind of gaining speed but not sacrificing mechanics.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I spoke on earlier, is what differentiates us is we want to give you a swing analysis first and foremost. Anybody that orders from our website and reaches out, send us your golf swing, because we want to see if there's anything in there that, hey, let's make sure you're hitting it straight first and you've got solid mechanics, maximizing your golf swing and your speed potential essentially, but also making sure that you're not swinging it a bad way and picking up speed so that slice does go further into the woods.
Yeah, that's a good point, because there's a lot of companies out there that'll just say, "Oh, you bought our product, here you go, do these protocols." Yeah.
Well, and obviously I'm still a PGA member. I'm involved in our section, and Luke's a director of instruction at a private club too. So we want people to be doing speed training. We understand that people have PGA pros that they work with.
Right.
Speed train, but also hit balls and still have instruction while doing it, because you want to work on all those things in unison. Or like you said, Marcus, if you just start swinging the Ryp Stick and don't think about mechanics and anything else, you're going to pick up speed, but you also might pick up some wicked habits along the way.
Yeah. Yep.
I tend to have that wicked habit every once in a while. So so the big left miss, if you will. But,
yep.
We'll see. But I guess what's next for Ryp Golf? I know you mentioned still kind of a young company, still growing, but what are the plans? What are the goals? Are you guys developing new products? What's coming down the line for Ryp Golf?
Yeah, it's Luke, the founder of our company, is he's always thinking of things. Him and I took AP Physics together. I lasted 10 days. He lasted the full semester. So the way his mind works is way different than mine. It's hey, he thinks of the products. I think of how we can bring it to the average golfer. So we're constantly working on products. This isn't going to be our only product. We actually just came out with a radar 2 months ago, so you can track your speed, because everybody wants to see it. I mean, it's kind of like the whole Peloton model. Like, you want to stack yourself against it and see those gains.
Yeah.
So that we got a radar that just came out, and we've got some short game products that are down the hopper. And then, I think we're always going to be known as a speed company, distance company, because of the Ryp Stick, but that's not the only thing we're going to be focusing on. We want to grow our lineup, and tools that help people play better golf.
I love that. I saw the radar on your website, and that's a genius idea, because I think one of the things, people go through speed training, unless they have access to a simulator to where they can see the numbers, it's kind of, oh, well, I think I'm hitting the ball farther. I don't know.
Right,
I think I'm swinging the club faster.
Right. Yeah. Because without measuring it, you have really no idea. I mean, you can go through the motions like you said, but if there's no way, the whole way you're supposed to make specific goals and make goals that are measurable. And if there's no way to measure them, you don't really know if you're ever going to get to that, whatever your club head speed goal is. So that's a good idea to have that.
Well, and let's be honest, not all of us can afford a TrackMan simulator in our garage or,
right.
It's our radar is $99. So it's a perfect tool to have that you can track your progress.
Mm-hmm. Love it. The last thing I had, Rob, I don't know if you have anything else, but I noticed on the website you I guess you're the founder of an organization called Fairways for All. Is that a kids kind of youth program to get kids introduced to the game of golf? Maybe talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes. So the club I used to be the head pro at was Minnewaska Golf Club, and my last year there, we started this foundation because and this was pre-COVID, when their golf courses were looking at maybe closing because not as many people were getting into the game. We had 2 courses in our area close the previous 3 years. So it's, how do you get people into the game? Cost is a big barrier. So we came up with this Minnewaska Fairways for All, which it's free golf for kids. So any kid in town, if they come out with a parent, even if you're not from the Minnewaska area, you play for free. Our junior golf program at Minnewaska is also free. I've since moved back to the area and no longer the head pro, but this year, my last year before the foundation, we had like 35, 40 kids in our junior golf program. This year we had 105. Wow. So it's just like, awesome. It's crazy to see how many kids are playing now. And it's just, it was at a perfect time, and it's just going to help grow the game in this area so much. So we've got, it's for all, so it's juniors, but we've also got a military component too. We've got a Hope chapter, which is PGA Hope, which is helping our patriots everywhere, where we give instruction to vets or disabled vets as well. And golf is just a release for some of them dealing with issues that they've had. And so it's a safe place, and it's a great program as well. So it's fun to be a part of that. And it's fun to really see like the growth in golf in the area and just in the country.
Yeah. So, yeah. To your point, you don't ever want to say thank goodness for what some good things that came out of COVID, but the golf industry just absolutely thrived. Pre-COVID, like you said, courses were closing. Private clubs were just like running membership specials, trial memberships. And then now I've talked to a couple of GMs at the clubs I used to work at and still in contact with. And he's like, we have waiting lists. We've raised this price. We've done this, we've done that. It's like, it's in demand where there's no longer those specials anymore because it's in such a high demand, where it was like pre-COVID, it was like, gosh, what can we do to drum up some business? And then that happened, and everything just kind of, it was just like a domino effect. So that's good though, because like you said, especially those kids coming out and playing, they're picking it up at that age. They always say golf's a game you can play for the rest of your life. And there's people that pick it up in their 20s and their 30s. So the fact that these kids are picking it up and they're, early, 10, 11, 12 years old, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I remember when COVID first hit, it's like you'd log on, try and play any of the public courses in Columbus and couldn't find a tee time. So it's
no.
interesting.
It was insane the last 2 years. It's been great for golf. And it's hopefully it continues. It's for sure the biggest boom in golf since the Tiger boom.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it just continues. And we won't have clubs shutting down.
Exactly.
So, well, awesome. This was great. Love learning about Ryp Golf and what you guys have going on, and awesome to chat with you a little bit. I know you got a Gophers basketball game to get to here, so we won't keep you too much longer. But appreciate you coming on and talking with us, and we'll have to add to our list, our ever-growing golf trip list, Rob. Trip up to Minnesota here and see what's going on up there. So
I'm always fine with that.
Like I said, we can do a little home and home. There's plenty of good golf in Columbus. And the Twin Cities area. Anytime you guys are up, just let me know. It's a real hidden gem for golf.
Absolutely.
We'll take you up on that, Scott.
That's right. We're gonna, at one of these points, Rob and I are gonna convince our wives to let's just take a cross-country road trip and just hit everywhere we can to play golf, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and just work our way west.
Yep. And then come back in the
live podcast.
Yep.
Absolutely. There it is.
And then we come back and our houses have different locks on them. We have to do a podcast from the driveway.
You've done nothing but play golf for the last 3 weeks. Oh, I love it. Boy. So, no, perfect. I appreciate you coming on the podcast here. We'll definitely look forward to some things out of Ryp Golf here, and we appreciate the chat, and we'll have to do it again here soon.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yep. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Adios.
Later.